Broncos. On behalf of Project Caminos, welcome back for more of the Broncos Scoop. My name is Dakari. I'm a transfer student currently in my senior year. I'm majoring in psychology here at Cal Poly Pomona, as well as a student assistant of Project Caminos. Today, we have a special guest from PolyTransfer joining us. Please allow me to introduce Alfred Garcia. Hi, Alfred. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. Very glad to have you on. If you could please grace us all with a brief introduction about yourself so we can meet you.
Sure. So my name is Alfred Garcia, and as you mentioned, I'm the interim PolyTransfer coordinator. So I oversee the PolyTransfer program here and specifically supporting our transfer students once they have transitioned into the university to help them towards graduation.
Well, that's awesome. So glad to have you on. And before we even get started with our interview, I have gone to a couple of the PolyTransfer events that have taken place. And one that I remember was, it was like a 2-hour long event. And it was the first event that I went to. And there was just so much knowledge and information shared. I remember something from the Career Center and other departments on campus. And it really just opened my eyes to the unlimited resources that we have as transfer students. And it was just a very great time. I remember like the popcorn questions we had in the end, and that even gave me some ideas for my own podcast that I do here with Project Camino. So I just want to share that and to say that all these PolyTransfer events are very helpful. And just to kind of give the listeners out there, just an idea to make sure that if you see a PolyTransfer event that seems like it would be a fit for you, definitely join. Alfred and his team always deliver great presentations, and you'll definitely walk away with something that you can apply to your own journey. So with that said, we'll go ahead and get started with our questions. So Alfred, my first question is, could you enlighten us about the goal of the PolyTransfer program?
Yeah, of course. So overall, our goal is to really help students transition into Cal Poly Pomona. And then once they're here, we really help them transition through, such as navigating the university environment, things of that nature. And then as they're here as well, we help them with that transition out of Cal Poly too, by doing programs for them that are going to support them even after they graduate from the university.
That was something that I kind of had a question about too, like for prospective students. And that would lead me into my next question, which is how soon can transfer students take advantage of the PolyTransfer program?
Yeah, so believe it or not, the PolyTransfer program, even before you've actually attended the university, we're already advocating on your behalf. So some of the ways that we do that is we actually have individuals here at the university. For example, our transfer pathways coordinator, who I work alongside, he will actually look at increasing opportunities for students to get here to Cal Poly Pomona. So we're already advocating, we're already meeting with community colleges and local partners and campuses and just other communities to really help students get here a lot easier and a lot more quickly. So that's one way that you're already taking advantage of the program without even knowing it, right? So that's a pretty awesome experience. In addition to that, we also have partnerships with really close campuses nearby. So for example, we have our Transfer Advantage program that really works specifically with Mount SAC to help those students transition here much more smoothly and things of that nature. We do want to continue to expand that program to go into other local area community colleges as well. And then from there, students can start to take advantage of our services by even going to outreach or orientation events where we try to be as present as possible to really just give students perspective on what our program is, who we are, what we can offer you, and things like that. So that's multiple ways people can take advantage of our program. And that's probably as early as you can start taking advantage of the program. And then from there, of course, we support you once you are here on campus.
Yes, so that's very good to know that even before prospective students get here, they can take advantage. And even once they are here, they're still able to participate in the program and get help and resources and all of that up until the time that they're, ready to graduate and transition out.
Yep, exactly.
So next, we would like to know what transfer specific services and resources are available to students through PolyTransfer.
Sure. So there's a couple of them. I know there's a few questions that we might cover later about our mentorship program, which is a main component of some of the services that we offer. So I'm not going to cover that too in depth with this question. But overall, when a student gets here, one of the main ways that they can interact with our program is by establishing a one-on-one meeting with me. You can also establish a one-on-one meeting with one of my colleagues as well. But really what those one-on-ones are, it's for our transfer population to ask questions, to get answers to things like, how do I read or understand my degree progress report? That's something that I'm very frequently working on students with. I can give them general coaching and advising and resource support. So for example, a lot of them might find it difficult initially to navigate things like our Bronco Direct Student Center. So I will sit there with them, have them pull up their Bronco Direct Student Center and go over, step by step how to navigate it. What are some common mistakes that students might make? I'll help them avoid the pitfalls that they might have otherwise made if they hadn't scheduled a meeting with us. So I would say that's probably one of the best ways for a student to take advantage of our services. We do have an office here on campus on the first floor of the Student Services Building. It's located behind the orange counter. So if a student does show up to campus during, our standard business hours, they can come and meet with myself. There's going to be times where we might have our peer mentor team available as well. So if they're looking for a student perspective, they can definitely come in and get that too. Aside from that, we offer a whole lot of programming. So I know earlier you were referencing a 2-hour-long event that we had in the beginning of the semester. Right away, I knew that you're referencing our fall transfer welcome. And that's something that all of our new incoming transfers can really look forward to, is that fall transfer welcome. We do it every single year. And basically what it is it helps you get adjusted to the university. So even if you don't happen to take part in our mentorship program, we do offer that program as a way for you to sort of adjust to the new university life that you're going to be living here at Cal Poly, to just really make sure you feel at home. Aside from that, like I mentioned before, we do a lot of referrals. We are very well connected on campus. I think when I submitted my annual report last year, I had about 54 different campus contacts throughout
Wow.
the academic year. So quite a few people that I'm in touch with. So that's been a pretty awesome experience to just refer students to all those resources. Aside from that, like I mentioned before, our goal is to always make sure that we have a transfer receptive culture here. So that's one of the big services that we offer is we go out and we advocate on behalf of our transfer students. We make sure that your adjustment here is as smooth as possible, and we listen to you and try our best to always advocate to make changes that are going to positively impact you as students here.
That's wonderful. One thing that stood out, well, a couple of things. The first thing being the way you said, helping transfer students feel like they're at home. And that's something that I feel like is very important as transfer students coming in. We feel like, this is a new campus to us. How are we going to fit in? Where are we going to find, our community? I definitely feel like PolyTransfer is the perfect place for incoming transfer students to start, just because how you said you have all of these contacts around campus. There's so many resources and advantages through the PolyTransfer that can help facilitate a very smooth transition for transfer students. So I noticed that there is a study lounge dedicated to transfer students. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Yeah, of course. So like I mentioned earlier, our office is located on the first floor of the Student Services Building, right behind the orange counter. So I know contextually when we're just talking on podcasts, you don't know where that's at. But basically, when you go into the main entry to our Student Services Building, if you just go straight ahead, you're going to run into our PolyTransfer Lounge. And once you run into the transfer lounge, it's really awesome because basically it's open during any time our business is open, or our office is open. So you can come in, you can stop by, you can bring your friends, you can bring some small snacks or to use as studying or some water and things like that, and just study there. We also have a TV present in that area with an HDMI cord so you can connect to it. You can play music potentially, depending on whether or not other students who are studying there would rather have it quiet. We do have a refrigerator, so if you needed to keep that water cold or something like that, or you are working right afterward and you just need someplace to store your food, we do have a refrigerator there for our students. This year, we are looking at getting a whiteboard for that space as well, so you can start to write up all the academic formulas for any of your classes and just use it as a really nice study aid. So yeah, that's a little bit about our transfer lounge and what it's used for.
So it definitely sounds like a place you can go and get your projects done, meet with your teams, and meet with other students that you're working on projects with to get your work done all collectively.
Yep, exactly.
So you mentioned earlier about the mentorship program, how you didn't want to go into it too much then, but now this is your time to please share with us about the mentorship program.
Yeah, awesome. So the PolyTransfer mentorship and summer transition program is something that starts, our process actually starts in spring semester. So you definitely want to be checking our PolyTransfer website for more information. We too tend to make it its own separate tab because we want you to be able to easily find it because it's such an amazing program. Basically what it is we currently employ around 9 peer mentors who are previous transfer students from a variety of majors to support our incoming transfer population. Now, typically in our mentorship program, we accept around 120 people. When you end up applying for that program, we'll review your application, we'll take a look at that, and then what we end up doing is we create a space for you and your mentors or your potential mentors to actually meet one another. Once you've had that opportunity to meet them, ask some questions of them, get to know them better, then we open it up for you to select who you believe would be the best mentor for you. We do that because we want every transfer student to have the opportunity to choose a mentor that's going to make sense for them so that the connection is much stronger that way. From there, we end up hosting one-on-one meetings throughout the summer. So we'll have a few weeks, usually in June to July, where our students will get to meet with their peer mentors in one-on-one. We'll get to understand you a little bit more as people, understand your academic goals, what you're looking for in your peer mentorship journey. From there, we actually offer up some group meeting time. So you'll get to meet other mentees who your mentor provides that mentorship to. So you start to develop those connections very early on in your experience here at Cal Poly Pomona. And from there, what ends up happening is we prepare you for an amazing 3-day event. So I remember, Dakari, you mentioned that fall transition welcome was awesome, right? Well,
Yes.
This event is even better. So it's really exciting. You'll get to have a lot of those similar experiences. Like you get to connect with people from our career center who will talk about, job opportunities. They'll talk about graduate school, for example. You'll learn more about programs like study abroad. You'll get to meet faculty members. You'll get to meet just so many people. Honestly, it's hard to just sit here and list them all, but you get to meet a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of amazing opportunities as well to just connect with other mentees in our program. You get to establish a lot of those connections very early. And then from there, a lot of our students just report that they feel much less anxious about the next semester because they've gone through this experience. They feel much more confident in navigating university resources, connecting with one another. They are able to reach out to one another pretty easily as well. One of the things I haven't mentioned yet is through our program, what we currently do is we also create a group meet that all of those individuals are involved in along with their peer mentors, so that you can ask questions whenever they come up. We don't ever want you to feel like you're stranded or you don't have an answer to your question. So we make ourselves very easily available to you so we can answer those questions as they arise. But that, in a nutshell, is our mentorship program. And we highly encourage all of you to definitely take a look at it, consider applying, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, I could only imagine if the amount of information we received in that 2-hour event, I could only imagine how much we would receive in 3 days. Like that's just, I could understand how you're not able to just remember everything, that comes with it. It's just so much. But I definitely wish that I knew about this PolyTransfer mentorship program when I was transitioning in, because you're right, it definitely does relieve a bit of the anxiety if you find and build your community before you even get to campus. You know, it definitely, it takes away a lot of the anxiety and the nervousness of, oh my gosh, you know, this is a huge campus. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Who am I going to talk to? This is a very, very important program, and anyone listening in, please definitely try to take advantage of this mentorship program. So now I'd like to ask, what motivates you to serve transfer students, Alfred?
Let's see. It's an awesome question. So I think for me, one of the biggest things is always just, I appreciate the resiliency of our transfer population, right? Like, I think a lot of our transfers, they come into campus and some of them have a lot of doubt. They don't believe that, you know, they're worthy of being here at Cal Poly Pomona. They think that, you know, the academic rigor, they're not going to be able to, you know, complete it and be successful and things like that. But then what I love doing is I love having those conversations with them and reminding them their resilience, right? Like, they've gone through a community college. They have experience being in academically rigorous courses already. I don't want them to ever doubt themselves and their abilities. So it really comes down to having the opportunity to encourage these students. And then once they get here and they start to believe in themselves more and more, and they realize, like, you know what? I persevered, I got my AA, or I transitioned over here. I'm balancing, you know, being a full-time student, a parent, and having a full-time job. It's a lot, but the strength that that takes is exactly what's going to get them to cross the stage later. And that to me is probably the thing that really motivates me most about being in my role and working with our transfer population.
That's wonderful. We're so happy that you are the facilitator of this PolyTransfer, because that in of itself, having someone who's truly motivated and dedicated to serving the student population is very important, and it's very appreciated. So thank you, Alfred.
Yeah, of course.
One thing that I just thought of too, I keep talking about this event, it just had a very, very large impression on me, is the event helped me learn that I am actually a reverse transfer. I had no idea what that was. I had no idea there was even a term for it. And so what I learned is that since I did go to a four-year university out of college, I mean, a four-year university from high school, and then to a community college, and now back at a university, that comes with its own, you know, challenges and like imposter syndrome, feeling like, oh, you know, I've already gone here. I feel like I'm super out of place, like everyone's younger and things like that. So the PolyTransfer event definitely helped me shed some light on how you were just talking about the resiliency of transfer students. We're all gonna make it through. That's what I just have to say. We'll all be fine. We're all gonna make it through, and especially with the help of the PolyTransfer program, we're definitely gonna come out on top.
Yes, I 100% agree.
So lastly, I just wanted to ask if you could talk about how a student may become a transfer ambassador. Like, is this a position that would be through work study, or how would that happen?
Yeah, so currently we have a few different positions in PolyTransfer. So we have our peer mentors. Those people are supervised directly by me, and they provide that direct mentorship to the 120-ish or so individuals in the mentorship program. So that's that particular student position. We have our transfer ambassadors. So they currently work with our transfer pathways coordinator and our TAP program as well. And then we also have some marketing positions as well that we've implemented this last year. So there are a lot of different ways to get involved. For each of these positions, we always look for, of course, students who are dedicated to supporting transfer students. In instances like our marketing majors and stuff like that for the graphic design position, we don't necessarily always look for transfer students, but we look for that desire to help that population. So I think that's important to keep in mind. We do accept people who are work study. We also accept people who are non-work study. But yeah, the application process will open up in spring semester. Once again, I would refer you to our website to definitely take a look. We do end up employing folks all the way from, the start of summer, so like the June 1st timeframe, throughout the entire academic year following that. So it's something to just keep an eye out for. Refer back to our website. Once again, we do have a dedicated tab to how to become a mentor, how to become a mentee in our program, and things like that. So definitely check back once the spring semester starts.
Well, there you have it, future Broncos. We're already trying to get you in and get you a job, get you paid here. But I would definitely drop some links in the description box for you all to visit the PolyTransfer website, view their mentorship program, and all the good stuff that comes with PolyTransfer. That's going to conclude our interview for today. Alfred, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on to share all this information about PolyTransfer.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Dakari. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing all the transfers on campus.